Alrighty, guys, it's your boy Stas here. Got the water on deck, pretty much out of the water here. Cheers, by the way. As the stock market, well, didn't have the best day. Let's break it down. Let's go over what happened here on the charts. We'll break down the indices, and we'll go over a bunch of stocks on my watch list. Which the funny thing is, the indices all went down except for the Dow, but a lot of individual stocks on my watch list, at least, went up a good amount. So we're going to cover some of those. And this is Beyond Meat, which I made a video on earlier today. It went up 146% on the day. Oh, holy moly, man. I don't know if I'm touching this thing. Forget a 10-foot pole with an 100-foot pole. But I'll be watching it on the sidelines with some popcorn. Go check out that previous video if you guys want to see more in depth why it went up, what's going on. We covered that in the last video. We also go more into my thoughts, which I'm not too fond of Beyond Meat. I'll be honest with you guys. But yeah, let's dive into the indices here. Go over what happened. So SPY went, I was gonna say went up, or rather went down. Well, I guess it did go down, but barely. 1 cent. It went down 1 cent on the day, guys. No joke. Break even, pretty much. And we can see earlier in the day, we saw some decent momentum from the bulls. We actually hit 673 in the middle of the day, but then we met that with a huge drop. And actually two pretty violent drops. We saw one at about 1 p.m. East Coast time on SPY and went from 673 down to about 670, 671. So dropped a good 0.35% right there. And then we saw a little bit of a spike, and then we dropped into close again, taking out the lows from the middle of the day. And you can see kind of a similar thing on QQQ. We hit in the middle of the day, 612.60. Then we saw a drop to about 610.30, saw a little rebound. We didn't take the highs out from the middle of the day, but we did take the lows out. We can see with the dump off at close, that brought QQQ down 0.03% on the day. And you can see that brought us, again, under that middle of the day low where we hit about, again, 610.30, 611. So QQQ starting to slip a little bit here, which honestly, man, it's not the end of the world, considering if you pull the layers back, when in doubt, zoom out. We actually did take out the highs here, barely. I think that's an all-time high. Let me double check that. Yeah, it looks like we just barely hit all-time highs either yesterday after the bell or this morning, right? So is it that big of a deal that we sold off a little bit? It's really not. We just hit all-time highs. We're putting in these higher lows. Clearly, we filled the gap from where we initially dumped off a cliff 2 Fridays ago after Trump tweeted, right, about, President Xi, China, the meeting being canceled, but now it's back on. So we've essentially recovered all those losses on QQQ. SPY, I think, is a little bit behind, a little bit, but honestly, even though it didn't hit all-time highs, it still filled the gap. We've recovered all the losses from 2 Fridays ago. So in the grand scheme of things, guys, this looks pretty good still. And if that meeting in South Korea goes well, right, coupled with good earnings, a rate cut, I've said this before, I'll say it again, we're setting ourselves up for a breakout, potentially into the holiday season, into November, December, which would be awesome. Honestly, that's what we've been calling for since what? At least I've been calling for it for a good month and a half, 2 months now. So that's what I'm looking out for on the indices side of things. The VIX went down 2% on the day. VIX is back in a healthy spot, decently healthy spot at about 17, 18. It was extremely high, at least based on where we've been the last couple of months. We hit 30 points on the VIX, I think, last week. So the fact that we're at 17 now, that's a good sign. And metals, guys, the metals last week, and honestly, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, they were getting way overbought to the point where I'm like, what is going on here? I think I made a video where I was like, yeah, I did. I made a video where I was like, what if I just dropped somebody on Earth right now that had no idea about anything in terms of the financial markets, and all I told them was that silver and gold are up like 30 to 50% each or whatever from just 2 months ago. What if I told somebody that? They would think the world's over, right? A financial crisis or something. But the reality is we're not really seeing, at least in front of our eyes right now, a crazy financial crisis. And silver and gold are up 30 to 40%, 45% for silver. It's insane. So I'm happy. I'm glad we're actually getting a healthy pullback here. It was getting a little too much. The breakout in silver. I mean, look, just in the end of August, it was at 37 an ounce, and we got the 53 an ounce just a couple days ago. That's a 43% move. That was not sustainable. So silver is down 6-7% right now. Big drop in silver, and gold is down 5%. Rightfully so, just like silver. It wasn't up as much. We all know gold's a slower moving metal. Duh, we all know that. But it was still up like 20-25%. We got to a point where it was just too much. We double topped at 4,400. Now we're down to 4,100. That's a healthy spot for gold. Honestly, it could come down from 4,100 down to, let's say, 39, 4,000. I would think that is even, not even, well, I guess it would be even better if you want to buy the dip, but that would be healthy too. So, yeah, gold, silver, big pull down, overall market selling off. I like it. Well, I guess the Dow went up 0.5%. All right, good for the Dow. It actually hit an all-time high today. Shout out to the Dow Jones. That's looking pretty good. But yeah, we're seeing a drawdown. Russell, little sell-off. Not a big deal though, considering we just hit all-time highs. QQQ just did as well. So no biggie, guys. No biggie there. And in terms of individual stocks, let's cover some of these. So on my watch list today, CRM. Check this out. You guys need to watch CRM. By the way, hit the like button if you haven't done that already. Make sure to subscribe. Join the Patreon for my portfolio updates. Shameless plug. I actually post those weekly. We're investing $500 a week, and we're doing bonus deposits throughout the month. So we're investing thousands of dollars a month on Patreon. Check it out if you guys are interested. Link down below, also pinned in the comments. So CRM, this is starting to break out, guys, after months and months of consolidation. All year has been flat pretty much. Well, I guess actually we dumped off in the beginning of the year. The first 3-4 months was, they were rough for CRM. We went from 350 to 220, and we bottomed out in April, and we're kind of still there where we were in April up until now. Now we're starting to break out. We're at 260. The stock went up 3.5% on the day. And we're noticing this descending triangle, we're starting to break out of it. You know what I mean? We're at multi-month highs. We're above these moving averages. We're starting to break out here. You're seeing it. This is a very good sign for CRM. And this is a sign where the technicals are breaking out. Obviously, we're showing that. But this is a sign where if we get this breakout, technical breakout, coupled with, let's say, a good earnings report or a strong fundamental, catalyst or something like that, this could propel the stock back to 300 plus. This is the type of breakout that we could be getting, but it needs to be backed by something. I don't think CRM is just going to break out to 300 on no catalyst, considering the company's been struggling a little bit. The stock's been flat in the midst of, a very good stock market. So I don't think it's just going to go towards 300 plus on no catalyst, just a technical breakout. But I think if we get a good earnings report or something fundamental, coupled with this breakout, it could propel it even further. Looks like here, President Capital, we just got a price raise to 312 from 309, maintains a buy rating on CRM. This is one that honestly I've been so close to buying, in this market where there's not much value. There's, a lot of stocks are at all-time highs. It's tough to find stocks out there. This is one that I've been watching. Now I might actually buy it. Now that we're starting to break out, I'm going to start to follow the trend. I might pick up some shares. I'm very close, man. So CRM, I like that. And honestly, if we get a pullback tomorrow, what's today? Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday. If we get a drawdown here, which is highly likely, it's a little overbought in the short term, I might buy that dip in the overall strength here, right? Or at least add an initial position. So what do you guys think about that? Let me see what else did well today. Amazon, believe it or not, you'd think today would be rough. Nope. Amazon went up 2.5% after a 15-hour outage yesterday. Some had it worse than others, but man, AWS got cooked yesterday. But the stock, well, is going up. And you would think that other competitors to AWS like Google Cloud or whatever, those stocks would do well today. But no, Google, last at least I checked, it was down. Let's see. Yeah, Google went down over 2% on the day. So you would think it would be flipped. Amazon would be down, Google would be up. Nope, it's the opposite. And Amazon's one that I've been buying here in the weakness. You guys know that, especially if you're in my Patreon, right? So I bought more here at about 212, 213 on the weakness. Now we're back to 222, and honestly, I'm not too convinced that we're going to break out yet, considering we're at the top of this trend line, or we're testing the trend line. We're under the 180 SMA. This has been where Amazon has gotten rejected in the past, so keep that in mind. You're noticing if I get the channel tool out, or the circle tool out rather, this is exactly where we've gotten hit before, so you got to be mindful of that on Amazon, AMZN, although for me, it's like, I don't care. I'm in it as a long-term investment. But yeah, if we see this dump back off here, that means, hey, lower prices are coming. And that means your boy Stas is going to add more to his long-term investment. So let's do one more. Let's see here. What else am I buying? Well, you guys probably know I'm buying a bunch of stocks here. But Novo Nordisk has gotten hit. I'm looking to add more of this, actually. It's failing and struggling at the top of this channel. You're seeing it here on the 4-hour chart, right? If I actually zoom in a little bit, let me show you this right here. We're putting in these lower highs, but at the same time, you guessed it, higher lows. You're seeing it right here. So we're in this channel, downwards channel, getting hit at the top of it, right? But at the same time, we're kind of in a wedge, putting in these higher lows, trying to break out. So for me, guys, I started buying the stock at $45 a share. I have call options, $45 in the money call options. So I'm already up a good chunk on this stock. I'm just looking to add more before earnings or even after earnings. But I'm excited about it. Last time they reported earnings about 2.5 months ago is roughly when I started buying the stock. And the stock has been popping since then. So another good earnings report, I think, will propel it out of this downtrend once and for all. At least that's what I think. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Run the likes up, subscribe, join the Patreon, do all that good stuff. I appreciate you all for tuning in, as always. And we've had a huge influx of new members in the Patreon. I appreciate all of you for joining as well. I hope you find value there in me building my portfolio, the Discord, all the posts and ideas, charts throughout the week. They're all on Patreon, guys. Check it out. Link down below if you want to join. Also, it's in the comment section. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you in the next video.